Hello everyone, Future Linkster here. I just wanted to say that don't expect a super high energy, high octane, super heavily edited video from this review. It's more like a podcast, and what I mean by that is it's just me chilling and talking. I do have notes, so I don't lose my train of thought, but it's just me mostly chilling and talking, which means if you want to, you could just listen to this video. You don't have to watch it. Although occasionally there will be text on screen to add to a point that I'm making, or screenshots or clips to demonstrate a point that I'm making, to show what it looks like in game, something like that. But yeah, if you want to just listen to this video, that's completely fine. It's just a chill podcast, nothing too crazy. There are plenty of like super high entertainment value, crazily edited, really high quality reviews out there already. Like Joe Cat just put out a video, well, not just put out a video, he put out a video recently, which was very good. So, there's plenty of videos out there if you want that kind of thing. This is just more like a chill podcast to like chill out and listen to me talk about what I personally like with the game, my experiences with it. So, with that being said, I'll turn it back over to past Linkster. Relax, sit back, relax, and enjoy. Thank you very much. Hello everyone, welcome to my Final Fantasy XIV review. I didn't know exactly how I wanted to make this video. I thought maybe I should write a giant script, maybe I should do something like that, but I think the best thing to do is just, I have some notes here, and I'm just gonna kind of go through them, give a few of my thoughts on each of them, each of these topics, and I have some footage that I've recorded, and I'll sprinkle that in where necessary. And maybe I'll sprinkle in some of my screenshots as well, since I have so many, screenshots from my, my entire time playing this game. What's my playtime anyway? 29 days, 15 hours. What is that? What is that in hours total? 711 hours. Yeah, that's a lot. Anyway. I think the first thing I'll talk about is the first thing you see when you start the game. You're making your character. In other MMOs, you may be used to more fantastical races. In this game, it's mostly just humans, but slightly different, such as a human with cat ears. A small human like me. aka the best race. Giant big buff humans, bunny humans, they're mostly just humans. The exception is the Hrothgar, the only race without human skin. But anyway, you start the game, and you're like, well, whatever, this is Final Fantasy, I don't need to play as an orc or something. So you start the game, and you make a cat girl like everyone else, probably. Most likely. I'm no exception. I, too, made a cat girl when I first started. I'll probably put some screenshots on the screen now. But you do get a free Fantasia during the main story quest. Main scenario quest. Which you can use to change your race. And I decided to take the Lala pill. Is that what they say? And I never looked back. I'll probably put a screenshot up from right after I changed, because I changed and took a screenshot immediately, basically. Anyway, so my thoughts on the character creation, I really like it. It's a lot more detailed than like World of Warcraft, for example. If you didn't know, I used to play World of Warcraft, so I'll probably be making a lot of comparisons to World of Warcraft in this video. just because that's really the only MMO I ever played a lot of. So it's the only one I can really talk about when like comparing the games. I mean, you don't have to compare the games. I could just talk about this game, but I think it's nice to compare. While World of Warcraft has, you know, a more variety of races, there's a lot of different races you can be, and that's good for that game. But you know, there's pros and cons. Where in World of Warcraft, the pro is more races, more variety. The con is the character customization is a little bit more limited. And then you have this game where the variety of races isn't too high, but character customization is pretty good. It's pretty dang good. And they have a boob slider. Need I say more? Quite frankly. Anyway, so character customization, character creation, it's fine, it's great. You have a first and last name in this game, which is something you don't see very often. It's definitely not, you don't see that in World of Warcraft. But, yeah, it's good. It's good. My only complaint is no butt slider. Get on it, Yoshi P. Get on it. I don't know how hard it would be to implement a butt slider, but a man can dream, quite frankly. So the next thing I want to talk about is the job system. When you have other MMOs like World of Warcraft, for example, when you create your character, you pick your class, and that's it. You're stuck as that class. Do they have class changes on the Blizzard store? I don't know. That would be weird. Anyway, you're stuck with that class when you pick it, typically. But in this game, you have the job system, which is a Final Fantasy staple. Basically, you can swap between different classes at will. Now this is great because for a player like me, when I played World of Warcraft, I always liked to try out, I wanted to try out every class. But it was annoying having to start at level 1 and just creating a new character. With the job system in this game, leveling up is pretty easy in this game, actually. Does not take very long, and if the job you're leveling is a lower level than your highest level job, it gets a 100% experience buff, which is really good. But anyway, I mean, with World of Warcraft, yeah, every class has 3 usually different specs that you can do. But I mean, you're just gonna play the one that's the best anyway, so do you really have all that much customization? I mean, unless you're a class that has like a tank spec and a healing spec and a DPS spec, like a paladin or a druid, you're probably just gonna stick with whatever's the best. Like, if you're playing a mage, you're not gonna be like, ooh, I play fire and arcane. Like, I don't think so. You're gonna play whichever one is the best currently. Probably not arcane, but, you know. And, you know, you could say, well, wouldn't everyone just play the best job in this game? I mean, sure, there are some people like that, but I mean, most people in this game just play whichever job is the funnest. I don't know, the metagame is so different in WoW, because like, if you're not playing the best, then you get out of here. But in this game, it's like, well, whatever, we can clear anything with the... I mean, we could have... What's the worst right now? Machinist? Could have 4 machinists and probably still clear Savage. I'm sure it's possible. I mean, maybe. I don't know, actually. But anyway, you just play whichever job you like the most. Right now, I think I like Reaper the most and Astro. God, I was AFK. Let's not get logged out here. tanks, I haven't done too much with the tanks. These levels are mostly from doing squadrons, because I'm scared of tanking in an actual dungeon. I have not played monk at all, or summoner. Summoner's one class that I definitely want to, work on. I used to love white mage. I don't want to play it right now though, because my MP, I get 0 MP suddenly. But Astro, like, it's so hard to go under 9,000 MP on Astro, I swear. The MP regeneration is just all out of whack right now. But yeah, the job system is very good. Yeah, and there's some other jobs. Yeah. What was I saying? I don't even know. Anyway. I mean, I don't want to talk about the job system all damn day, but just one more thing. In World of Warcraft, you have multiple specs on each class. You have talents in each spec that can be, changed. So it's harder to balance the classes, I feel, in World of Warcraft, which is why you have, things like who was like, wasn't there some were like World First Guild did a mythic raid and they had like 10 warlocks or something? Like, that's just whack. that is whacked up. It's so hard to balance that game. Whereas this game, every job, you just play the job, that's it. There's no talents, there's no specs, it's just the job. The job plays like this is how you play the job. It's a lot easier to balance, there's a lot less moving parts, you know what I mean? I mean, it's cool. World of Warcraft's class system is like cool, like on paper. Like, oh, super customizable. But you're just, at the end of the day, the talent tree is basically useless, because you're just gonna look up what's my best talents, and you're just gonna do that. I mean, at the end of the day, what's my best spec? If you're like a class with multiple DPS specs, you're not gonna play the shittiest one. You're gonna play the best one, because that's just how it works. Even if the other one's more fun, I don't know. I know it's hard. I mean, I'm not saying anything all that new. I mean, people have said this and been much more clear with it than me. But I just feel like, I don't know. It was annoying to me when I would play mage and fire would be the best, because I liked frost the most. And I didn't really like the way fire played, but you have to play it because it's the best. It's the best. And if frost was ever the best, I was so happy. But I don't know. It's just a different vibe over here, I guess, in this game. You just play whatever you want to play, whatever the most fun thing is. Or if you want to play what's meta, you play what's meta. Because, like, you can't, like, talk shit to someone for playing, like, a bad class in this game. Well, I mean, I'm sure you can. I'm sure it happens, but the community over here is just much nicer and less insane than the WoW community. You know what I mean? Anyway. I don't know where I'm going with this. The job system, I like it. I like it more than something like World of Warcraft's class system. The job system, I love it. I'm glad I can play everything on one character. I don't have to make multiple characters. Although I am a little sad I don't have to make multiple characters, because I would love to play the other races. But, I could just make an alt if I want to. Just rush through the MSQ and skip every cutscene if I really wanted to. And I'm sure it would only take a few days to get to max level. If I really wanted an alt for some reason. But anyway. Moving on to my next point in this review. This is a review, don't forget. Don't forget, I may ramble on about World of Warcraft, but this is still a review of Final Fantasy, so let's talk about Final Fantasy. I really like in this game that old content remains relevant no matter at what point in the game you're at. You know, whether, you know, you're doing other class quests. Like, I just finished level 70 Astro Quest. I was in Kugane. That's a Stormblood place. This is the end of, I finished Endwalker. You know, and I'm still going back to Kugane, doing quests there. That's great. I really like that. Not to talk about World of Warcraft too much, but in World of Warcraft, once you're done with a zone, once you outlevel a zone, you never have to see that fucking place again. It's gone. I mean, you don't even have to do the old dungeons. There's no reason to. And scaling your character down to do older content is a lot easier in this game. Again, because there's less moving parts with each, you know, job. Instead of the, you know, hundreds of things you have to balance for in World of Warcraft. So I like that. I like that you can do old content, go to old places, and it still feels relevant. It still feels like, yeah, I should be here. Anyway, next point. I just wanted to talk a bit about, I guess this can kind of be a con. A Realm Reborn. The first thing you play before any expansion. The base game, A Realm Reborn. It's a bit slow. By a bit slow, I mean very, very slow. It's really slow. It's a bit shit, to be honest with you. It's a bit shit. But I still enjoyed it. Like, you just take your time with it, and you'll enjoy it, probably. So what makes it so slow? There are a few things. You don't get a mount until a while into the game. Like, around level 20 or something. The maps are, like, pretty big, and in some zones, there's not a whole lot of aetherytes. For example, when you have to return to the Waking Sands and there's not a nearby aetheryte, it's so damn annoying. Going back there over and over again. You just go to that stupid place. What's it called? Horizon? Piece of shit place. Horizon. Stupid Horizon, and you have to run through this stupid shitty place. And then you have to run in there into the Waking Sands. It sucks. It sucks big time. Is it a big deal? No, not really. In fact, some might say it's a good thing that it's so slow, because if you haven't played, an MMO before, it's gonna take some getting used to. And yes, that is true. But, if you've played an MMO before, you're gonna be wondering why it's so slow. Well, maybe you won't be if you're a WoW Classic player. That game is even fucking slower. And another thing, is that WoW Classic doesn't have a main storyline to follow, which keeps you somewhat invested in this game. I mean, the A Realm Reborn story isn't great. It's not groundbreaking. It's pretty generic, all things considered. But it does a lot of world building, which pays off in a huge way in future expansions. A lot of character building, a lot of world building. It is important. Don't skip it. Like, for God's sakes, don't skip it if you do play. But just know, be aware that it's going to be a bit slow for a while. It gets a little bit better in the patch content, well, really just at the end. If you don't know, the main scenario quest is released in a certain way. The expansion comes out, you have a giant list of main scenario quests that tell a complete story, And then in each patch that comes out, patch cycle's like 3 months, I think. So in each patch, you get a smaller chunk of main scenario quests, and those tell the story as well. And then usually the last 2 patches, around about there, start leading into the next expansion. Although sometimes the complete story of an expansion isn't told until the 0.3 patch, like with Heavensward. I think that 0.3 is like the true end of Heavensward. But yeah, you know what I mean. Anyway, like the last chunk of patch content for A Realm Reborn is pretty dang good, is what I'm saying. I also forgot that in A Realm Reborn they have different voice actors for the characters. I mean, they have some big names, but I don't know. I think voice acting's a lot better in Heavensward and beyond. Like, I can't listen to Alphinaud's A Realm Reborn voice. It just sounds like Teddy from Persona to me, because I mean it is him. But like, I can't take it seriously. You know what I mean? Anyway, just be aware A Realm Reborn is slow. That's all I'm saying. And the gameplay. The gameplay is pretty slow at lower levels. I mean, you look at my... where is it? Arcanist. This is a level 4 Arcanist. I have 1 damage button. I have my carbuncle, which doesn't do damage, I don't think. He does give me a shield, though. How nice. And I can heal myself. Great. Just what I need. A heal. And then, you know, you get a little deeper into the levels. Got a warrior, you got actual combo, AoE skills, some defensives. You know what I mean? And then once you get to max level, you got a whole lot of buttons, and it's much better, much better. Gameplay's slow at first. It's especially noticeable if you're playing a melee class. I mean, I don't think Dragoon gets its 3rd combo button until like what, level 26? That's pretty bad. But you know, once you hit level 50, things start clicking. You kind of see how your class is gonna play, and then, you know, you get to 60, got even more stuff. Get to 70, now things are really getting interesting. You get to 80, having a blast. Get to 90, it's amazing. I will say, just real quick, if you are playing a melee DPS class, be sure to look up what positionals are. If you don't know, be sure to look up weaving. In fact, just watch a DPS guide, for God's sakes. Watch Wescalber. Watch Wescalber how to DPS. Watch his how to tank and how to heal as well. Just watch all of his videos. Just watch every single video on his channel, actually. But anyway, for the love of God, if you're a healer, please do damage. And if you're a tank, please use defensives, for God's sakes. I hate healing a tank that never uses Rampart, not even once, but pulls a huge amount of mobs. Anyway. Let's talk a bit about the dungeons. Dungeons. Every MMO, probably, at least I think so, has dungeons. The dungeons in this game are really good. Although, like, it feels like over half of the A Realm Reborn dungeons are like just caves. Cave. That's a cave. I know this cave very well. And then Hawk Manor. This is the first dungeon you get that's not a freaking cave. And then this is like an outdoor area. So it's a lot of caves at the beginning, and then there's some caves at the end, of course. And then there's, and then it gets a bit more interesting. Not that there's anything wrong with caves, but I think that future dungeons definitely get a lot better. But the A Realm Reborn dungeons are good, though. I mean, a cave is a very standard MMO dungeon. You go into the cave, there's like bandits there, or monsters. I mean, I can think of multiple examples in, like World of Warcraft, for example. What am I talking about? I'm just talking for no reason. What am I saying? Dungeons. They're good. They're fun. Every MMO has them. Dungeons in this game are very nice. In World of Warcraft, dungeon groups are 5 people. In this game, it's 4. 1 tank, 1 healer, 2 DPS, instead of 3 DPS like in WoW. I mean, that doesn't really matter too much to me. I guess less people means each person has more personal responsibility. But also you can get resurrected a lot easier in this game than in WoW, so I don't know if that's entirely true. But encounters are pretty interesting in this game. Most of the time when you're going through dungeons, you're going to be able to just do it blind very easily. I mean, most bosses just telegraph their attacks in very obvious ways. Sometimes it's extremely obvious, such as an orange circle, which some people still manage to stand in. I don't know how. But some bosses, they have mechanics that maybe you've never seen before and you don't quite understand, like in the Crystal Tower series, that guy, what's his name, Zandy? Is he the last boss of Circus Tower? He has that thing where he puts 3 purple circles on people and they have to, like, kind of stand in the middle, and people have to stack in the circle to share the damage. But some people just run away with the circle because they think that they have to, and then they end up dying, and then you have to stand on the platform while he does his stomp, or you die. And then I have to resurrect 5 people. Anyway. No spoilers, by the way. No spoilers. Dungeons, I like them. I mean, I think World of Warcraft has great dungeons as well. But dungeons play a little bit differently in this game. Like in this game, you can pull a ton of mobs and just AoE them all down and have fun. But in like World of Warcraft, there's like an AoE cap. You can only hit a certain number of targets with your AoE abilities. Okay, why? Why? I don't understand that. And usually, you only pull like a couple mobs at a time, like 1 pack at a time in World of Warcraft. Because pulling more, especially in like WoW Classic, is just asking for death, to be honest. But not so much in this game. Although trash mobs can be dangerous if you're not paying attention. If you're not using, defensive abilities and your healer fell asleep. Maybe it can be dangerous. But yeah. And let me just talk about this real quick. This is something that shook me to my core as a World of Warcraft player. You see here we have Copperbell Mines, right? Actually, let me use this example. We have the Sunken Temple of Karn. And then down here, we have the Sunken Temple of Karn Hard. Now, if you're a World of Warcraft player, you may be thinking, oh, is that like heroic? Is that like a heroic dungeon? And you'd be sort of right in thinking that. Like, in Burning Crusade, you have that dungeon that you do really early on. What the hell is it called? I don't remember. I'll put it up on the screen. And then once you hit max level, you can do the dungeon on heroic. And it's kind of the same, but it's not. So as a World of Warcraft player, you might go into the hard mode dungeon expecting the layout to be the same, the bosses to be the same, only to be harder. And then you'll be surprised when the entire dungeon is different. The whole dungeon. All the bosses are different. Different mobs, different dungeon mechanics. The whole shebang. Different layout. Same location. But different. At the same time. It really made me go, wow. That's pretty cool. And if you don't know, in WoW, a heroic dungeon, which is the hard mode of a dungeon, the layout's the same, the bosses are the same, you know, maybe the bosses have, you know, different mechanics, but basically the only difference is everything hits harder, and maybe, I don't know, maybe there's a few more trash mobs lying around. It's basically the same dungeon, though, in almost every way, just harder. But in this game, it's a completely new dungeon. Different. Everything about it's different. And I found that really cool. I have to go shit. Just realized that my blur was on down here, now it's not. So, I apologize for that. While on the topic of dungeons, let me just mention raids here real quick. So raids work a little differently in this game. You have the normal raids and the savage raids. Savage raids are just the normal raids but harder, right? At least I think so. I don't know, I've never done savage raid. Not yet, anyway. Maybe I'll do that someday. But they release in 3 waves, and each wave has 4 bosses during each expansion's lifetime. So the first wave of Endwalker's raid series is out. There's 4 bosses. The Savage series is out. It comes a little after the normal. It has 4 bosses as well. And raids are 8 people. 2 tanks, 2 healers, 4 DPS. Which is a little different from how they work in World of Warcraft. I haven't done too much of the raids yet. I've done the entire Alexander normal series. That's about it really for raids. I really liked it. Each raid has its own storyline, which is interesting. Alexander was very interesting. I don't want to talk about it too much, but I really enjoyed what they did with it. Yeah, don't want to spoil anything though. Then you have Alliance raids, which I think the gear you get from it kind of acts as like catch up. If you've fallen behind. I don't know, actually. I think I heard someone say that. But the Alliance raids are 24-man raids. There's 3 alliances full of 8 people. And yeah, it's pretty good fun. The Alliance raid for Shadowbringers is actually a crossover with Nier, the game series. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, I don't know. They're good. They're good. I don't really know what to say about them. I just enjoy them. I enjoy the fact that they each have their own storyline. And that's about it. That's all I have to say about them. Next thing I want to talk about a bit is the Gold Saucer. If you are familiar with like Final Fantasy VII, you'll have heard the name Gold Saucer before. Basically, it's just a little fun zone that you can play a lot of mini games at. There's some lottery. There's a lottery every week. There's mini lottery tickets every day, and you get points. There's also mini games every 20 minutes, such as Leap of Faith, which is a jumping puzzle. And then there's like one where you this guy cuts some bamboo, and you have to look at the bamboo to see which way it's gonna fall and not get hit by it. And you get gold saucer points, which can be exchanged for cool prizes. The big one is if you get 2 million gold saucer points, you can buy a mount, Cactar mount. So it's pretty cool. That's something that you work towards if you do the gold saucer a lot. And there's tons of other cool prizes. You know, emotes, hairstyles, whatever. In World of Warcraft, you have the Dark Moon Fair, but I think the Gold Saucer just stomps on the Dark Moon Fair so hard. Takes a big dump right on the Dark Moon Fair. The Gold Saucer just way better. I think there's a reason why so many World of Warcraft content creators and streamers seem to really love the Gold Saucer. It's because they never had anything like that in World of Warcraft. But boy, they wish they did. Dark Moon Fair just wasn't enough. And also, it was only like 1 week a month, right? Dark Moon Fair. 1 week a month for something that isn't even that good. Great. Just looking at my notes here, I'm wondering what I should talk about next. I guess I'll talk about the community. You may have heard that the community in this game is very friendly. And that's very true. I don't think... Well, that's not true. I've seen some people being a little toxic, but nothing so serious. Not the kind of stuff you'd see in World of Warcraft. That's for sure. You know, you can say, oh, people are just nice in this game because if they did not nice, then they get banned. Blah. And maybe that's a little bit true to some extent, but overall I don't think that's really a big factor at all. I think it's mostly just because people like this game. They aren't angry with it constantly. And I don't know, I think it just attracts a different crowd of people. I don't know what it is. All I know is that the community is probably the least toxic I've seen on the internet. That's for damn sure. I mean, that's not to say that there's no angry people or toxic people at all, but there's a lot less. Proportionally, relatively, a ton less toxic behavior. It's nice. You can just chill. It's very relaxing, and you don't have to worry about people yelling at you. It's a community. If you're worried that people are gonna yell at you, if you have social anxiety, don't worry. Everyone's friendly. I have no idea why I'm picking this order, but the next thing I want to talk about are tomestones. If you've ever played World of Warcraft, you may remember badges. Did they bring them back? I don't know. I don't keep up with the game as much as I used to. But you may remember badges. Back in Burning Crusade, Wrath of the Lich King, I know they were there for sure. I don't know about anywhere else, but they were there for sure. You get badges for doing dungeons and other content that you can turn in for high level gear in case you don't get the gear you need from, you know, raids or whatever. In case you get unlucky. They're used to like catch yourself up. They're very nice. It's very nice to have a different way to gear yourself. And this game has that, and I'm so glad it does. Because I'm not a big raider in general. I like raiding, but like, I don't know. I don't want to dedicate certain days of the week, certain times, to just doing hard raids for some gear. But, you know, maybe I'll try it out. Party Finder does exist, I suppose. But yeah, I'm glad that tomestones exist. I do have one small teensy incy, is that a word? Teensy weensy complaint. The cap on the okay, so you have Tomestone of Poetics, right? These are used to get gear for level 50, 60, 70, and now 80 level classes, right? Like my Astro has item level 400 Tomestone of Poetics gear level 70 that you get from Kugane. So that's what those are for. And then you have these two types of Tomestone, which is for the current max level. This one is uncapped. You can get as much of this as you want a week, and you get, I think, what is it, 560 gear? 570? 570. I think 570. Yeah. Anyway. And then you have the Tomestones of Astronomy, which are capped. Now this cap is a little low, I think. Sure, jobs do share gear, like this earring is shared between Dragoon, Samurai, Reaper, and Monk. But, I mean, weapons cost a lot, I think. And, like, there's so many jobs in the game now that I think this number is just too low. Like, how long would it take to get every piece of Tomestone gear? I actually don't know. Take a while, though. It takes 2 weeks to even get a chest piece. Yeah, this number could be a little higher, I think. Like, even just a little higher. Like, 50 more Tomestones would be good enough for me. Just a little higher, come on. I mean, it's not that big of a deal. I mean, I'll probably only really gear up Reaper and maybe Astro. Astro's probably my favorite healer at the moment. If they fix White Mage, I'd be so happy to go play White Mage, but not in no mood to play White Mage right now. Until they fix the MP regeneration. And also I've heard that, like, a Flatus Misery, like, sucks now. Or something. Like, Astro's just so much more fun right now for me. That's just my opinion, though. If you like White Mage right now, more power to you. I don't know how you can do it with that awful MP regeneration. Anyway, I like this system in general. It's a good system, I think. And it, you know, it helps you gear up your character. But regardless, you know, pros and cons with the Tomestones. The con being that they don't give me enough Tomestones, to be honest. I mean, other than the amount, I don't really have anything bad to say about the Tomestones. I don't know why World of Warcraft ever got rid of badges. Like, why? I guess because they have LFR now, you don't really need tome badges, but come on. Another thing I'd like to mention is Squadrons. These are part of your Grand Company. You'll learn what that is during the main scenario quest. But you get a squadron at some point. I don't know, look up a guide on how to do it, I don't remember. And once you level up the members of your squadron to like level 20, I think, you can start taking them into dungeons. Oh shit. No way. Where did you come from? Maybe this wasn't the best spot to hang out at. Well, anyway, I'll just ignore that guy. That was fun. What was I saying? Squadrons? Squadrons. They're very nice if, like, you're a tank, for example. Or if you're leveling up a tank, and you're nervous about tanking, you can practice a dungeon as a tank with a squadron, and then get annoyed at the fact that you can't pull more than one freaking pack because the squadron healer doesn't fucking ever heal. Anyway, it's just a good practice, and it's a really good way to level. Actually, like if you are a DPS leveling a DPS job, the queue times are pretty long, usually. So what you can do instead is do squadrons. I mean, they only go up to level 60 now. So I mean, after level 60, you're gonna have to think of something else. But yeah, is he still there? Nope, he's gone. Well, he's not that far away. Man, let me just mention the visuals for a second. I didn't even write this down, but just looking at this makes me want to talk about them. This looks so good. I don't know if my OBS recording and the YouTube decompression, or compression, not decompression, the YouTube compression and my editing software compression is gonna, all of that combined is not gonna make this look as good as how I see it. But this looks so good to me. I don't understand how people can say this game looks bad. Well, I do know. It's because they're watching a stream or a video and they say, that doesn't look that good. But if you actually play the game, it looks so nice. Like, I don't understand how you can play classic World of Warcraft, say, oh, that looks so good, and then look at this game and be like, nah, that's ugly. That looks like shit. You're a moron, as far as I'm concerned. Sorry, I don't want to be mean, but this game is gorgeous, man. Anyway. Went off on a little tangent there. Squadrons are great, is what I'm saying. Great way to level up. I'm really glad they're in the game. I just wish... I wish they went up to level 70 at least, because then after that you can start doing Trust, which is like an advanced level of Squadrons in a way, I guess. I don't know. Trust. Let's talk about Trust now. Trust is another great system. It was added in Shadowbringers. You can do dungeons, with a group of story NPCs. It's really great. You know, if you're seeing the dungeon for the first time, you can go in, no sweat, no, you know, not nervous about nothing, not nervous about seeing mechanics you ain't never seen before. Just go in there with the story NPCs and do the dungeon. If you're trying to like level like a alt job like a healer, I wouldn't recommend Trust though, because Thancred doesn't pull more than one pack, the bastard. I mean, you can pull more than one pack for him, but still. Still, anyway, dungeons are still faster with real people, is what I'm saying. But Trust is very good. I'm very glad they put it in the game. I just wish that there was something between 60 and 70, like Squadrons or Trust, so that I would never have to go into an instance on a tank with other people. Because tanking, I'm very nervous to tank. I've tanked a couple dungeons, low level, but I'm a little nervous about it, and they never commend me, the bastards. Even though I do so well. At least I think I did good enough. Well, as long as they're commending the healer, I guess, who kept my dumbass alive. Anyway. You know, speaking of the story is great. I don't think that should come as a surprise to anyone. But the story really is great. A Realm Reborn, you're gonna be like, hey, is this story really all that great? And then you get to Heavensward and you're like, oh my god, this story really is that great. This really is the award-winning expansion Heavensward. Is what you'll be saying. And then you get the Stormblood and you're like, yeah, is this story all that great? No, Stormblood's good. It's just not as good as Heavensward, I think. And for a lot of people, they go, huh? What's going on? Why is this slowed down so much? You know, Heavensward is like fast-paced. It's so much cool shit's happening, and then Stormblood just kind of pulls back a little and slows down. But it gets really good during the patch content. And then you get to Shadowbringers and you say, wow, this is the best game on the entire planet. And then you get to Endwalker and you say, oh wow, this is the best game on the entire planet. Like, man, when I played Heavensward, I thought, is Shadowbringers really gonna be able to beat this? Like, how good can it be? Like dragons are so cool to me. I just had no idea how Shadowbringers could possibly defeat it, but proved me wrong. It proved me wrong, it sure did. It was amazing. And then I was like, man, they cannot top Shadowbringers. But I truly think Endwalker topped Shadowbringers. Even if only by a little bit, I really think it... God damn. Well, for some ungodly reason, OBS had an encoder error, not facing the same direction anymore. And then Final Fantasy had a freaking DirectX error or something. That was weird. At least that footage wasn't destroyed. Thank God. Anyway, I was talking about Endwalker. Yeah, I like Endwalker more than Shadowbringers. A lot of people seem to as well. I'm not gonna go into any spoilers. I'll probably do a few, like a tier list video, like character tier list and expansion tier list, and I'll go into big spoilers during that. So if that's what you want to know, then look forward to that. But yeah, the story's great, and it's not even the main scenario quest that has great story. There are side quests in the game that all have great stories as well. Like Alexander, like I said. The Crystal Tower raid series, Alliance raid series, that's great as well. And mandatory, by the way, so you have to do it. But yeah, it's great. You know, when you play World of Warcraft, you don't think, you know what an MMO really needs is a great story. You never thought about that, because WoW never had, like, a great story. There was never, like, any amazingly grand story that was being told. I mean, there kind of was, but there also kind of wasn't. Like, no one who played World of Warcraft cared about the story past Wrath of the Lich King, let's be honest here. Unless you were a lore nerd. But most people, not so much. They just wanted to play the game. But then the gameplay kept getting worse and worse, so they were like, well, what the fuck am I playing this for? I can't stop. I've been playing for 10 years. I can't stop. Help. I've been playing for 15 years. Yeah, I stopped playing after Wrath of the Lich King. Cataclysm didn't do it for me. And I was very young. I was like a kid when Cataclysm came out. And it sounds really weird, but the fact that they changed the old world like really bothered me as a kid. I don't know why. It's such a childish thing to care about. But like when I saw the Thousand Needles was flooded, I was like pissed. I was like, not the Thousand Needles, you bastards. And the Barrens was split. I was like, you motherfuckers, what did you do to my Barrens? Orgrimmar was ugly. I hated it. It wasn't actually that ugly. Yeah, it was a really weird reason, and I didn't like what they did to the talent trees. I didn't like anything. So I was just like, I don't like this game. I'm gonna go play Gary's mod. And that's what I did. Miss Pandaria came out, I looked at the trailer, I was like, nope, not for me. Which is a shame, because I heard it was actually kind of good. Came back at the end of Miss Pandaria to level up a little bit so I'd be ready for Warlords of Draenor, because I thought it was going to be amazing like everyone else. And then we were all clowns for thinking so. They made us look like clowns for thinking it was going to be good. Warlords of Draenor really sucked. And then after like a month of Warlords of Draenor, I'm like, nope, back to Gary's mod. Gonna go play some Left 4 Dead instead, you know what I mean? But, you know, then Legion came out. It was actually good, even though it had a lot of problems, like Titan forging, legendaries being random. It had a lot of problems, it did, but the game overall was fun, so you could learn to look past those problems, even though they annoyed me. Battle for Azeroth came out, and I didn't like it. There's like one zone in the Horde area that I actually enjoyed. I hated the Volpira zone. It's just a boring giant desert. maybe that's just me. Maybe other people like that zone, but I didn't like it. I like the troll stuff, like with that troll god of death or whoever he was. But then the game was not fun. Stopped playing. Never looked back. Never looked back. Anyway, another thing about the story is there's this cool little system called New Game Plus. Don't know if you ever heard of New Game Plus before, but it allows you to play through the story again. Wow. Just like in every other game that has New Game Plus. Anyway, if you for whatever reason you rush through the story, you skip through it, you don't need to worry. You can unlock New Game Plus and go back if you want to. It's always an option. So if you're a big time raider, you just love to raid, you don't give a shit about the story, and you buy a boost and skip all the way to the end of the game, and thanks to this game not having a ton of systems like World of Warcraft, you can start raiding pretty much instantly. If you start enjoying that and you're like, wow, I really like this game, maybe I'll go try out the story. You don't have to, make a new character. You can just do New Game Plus, go through the story that way. So, that's good. That's good. New Game Plus is great. I don't think I'll ever use it, though, to be honest. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I unlocked it. I got the quest that unlocked it. But don't really feel like I need to ever use it. At least not yet. Maybe someday I will. But yeah, overall, that's basically my review. At the end of the day, what is my review? TLDR. What are my thoughts? Since this is a review, let me give you my thoughts. Pros, the story, obviously. The gameplay's good. At high levels. When you get to a high level. The visuals are great. The music, oh yeah, I never talked about the music. The music is one of the best things about this game by far. The music is in a league of its own. The composer Soken is a genius, a god amongst men. He had cancer, thank God that the cancer is gone. I think that he got rid of that cancer, thank fucking God. Don't know what I would do without it. And his music. The emotional moments in this game are increased tenfold with his freaking music, I swear to God. It's very easy to make me cry. I've cried at a lot of games, Steins Gate, Danganronpa. I've cried at shows like Hunter x Hunter, Mob Psycho. I've cried at tons of stuff. It's very not hard to make me cry. It really is. It's embarrassingly easy, in fact. I've never cried as much as I have during some of these quests in this game. Before this game, the hardest I ever cried was during Hunter x Hunter, for sure. Certain little episode. But yeah. Oh boy, especially Endwalker. Jesus Christ. I'll go into more details about, about that stuff during my tier list. But yeah. The music is just fantastic. Anyway, so basically my thoughts, my review, summed up, straight to the point. I know I rambled on a lot during this, but let's just get straight into the business. My review is that the game is fantastic. A Realm Reborn can be slow, and that will put a lot of people off. It will. People play A Realm Reborn, they'll be like, I don't really see what all the hype is about, and then maybe they'll try to boost, and then they'll try to do a raid and not know how to play their class, and then they'll die and they'll quit the game. I wouldn't know anyone who did that though. But if you can get past that, they say, there was some comment I saw, it was you either die in A Realm Reborn, not die, you either quit in A Realm Reborn or play long enough to become a walking advertisement for Final Fantasy XIV. And it's pretty true. It's pretty true. You just really gotta trust me, trust everyone when they say, you just gotta get through A Realm Reborn, and then it'll be amazing. A Realm Reborn is pretty long, don't make no mistake here. It's a time investment, for sure. But if you're just focusing on the main scenario quest, you can get through it pretty quickly. You're not gonna have any issue. Coming from World of Warcraft though, having an actual story to keep me going and having like fun stuff like the gold saucer to distract me. I spent a lot of time in A Realm Reborn, probably more than I should have, because I just kept getting distracted. I was like, ooh, let me go level up Bard for some ungodly reason. But yeah, it's very easy to get distracted. But that's the beauty of this game. There's so much fun stuff to do. Like, I haven't even mentioned like all the little extra stuff. There's like this card game called Triple Triad. There's grindy stuff like the relic weapon grinds. There's PvP in this game, which is kind of but they're gonna make it better in the next patch. At least that's what they said. But PvP does have some cool rewards, at least. There's Beast Tribe quests. You get mounts and you learn about the Beast Tribes. You can go farm for mounts from Extreme Trials. If you're over level for them, you can just solo them real easy. You can collect minions. You can do Palace of the Dead or Heaven on High, which are these, you can do them solo, which is like a crazy challenge that gets you a really prestigious title as a reward. There's tons of stuff to do. Nothing is mandatory though. I guess the main scenario quest is kind of mandatory, but you can get through really fast if you skip everything and you don't care about it. But don't do that, please. It's amazing. But everything else besides that, you don't have to do. You just do whatever you want. That's the beauty of this game. Just do whatever you want. If you just want to do a bunch of raids, you can just do a bunch of raids. If you're a psychopath and you want to PvP for some reason, you can do that. If you just want to collect every minion in the game, you can do that as well. It's not like World of Warcraft where you have to run Torghast over and over again just to keep up with the people in the game. Like, the amount of chores in World of Warcraft is really shocking. Like the amount of mandatory daily and weekly chores. And they don't take 5 minutes to complete. Make no mistake, they take a while to do them all. But I don't want to talk about that too much. There's nothing more off-putting than a mandatory daily chore. Like, yeah, there's daily stuff you can do in this game. Like, there's the duty roulette, which you can get bonus rewards for doing these each day. But like, it's not even a comparison to the amount of daily stuff you have to do in World of Warcraft. Also, I want to do this stuff anyway, so it doesn't bother me. I like doing dungeons. These are mostly just dungeons anyway. Okay, I never even talked about trials. Trials are pretty cool. I don't think World of Warcraft has anything like them, at least from my knowledge. They're basically just one boss encounters. You just go in there and you fight the boss, basically. And it's an 8-man instance. You go in, you fight a boss. It's great, very good. Anyway, that's all stuff you can discover on your own. This is like the 5th time I've said this, but my review, my final thoughts. What are my final thoughts? God damn it. Game good. Game good. I could end the video right there. Maybe I will. No. Anyway, just get past A Realm Reborn and it's good. It'll be one of the best gaming experiences you've ever had. Trust me. I love the characters in this game to death. I love the story in this game to death. Oh, I can't think of the last time a game sucked me in this much. Yeah, I don't know. I was gonna have a spoiler section in this review, but I've decided that I'm gonna save spoiler talk for my expansion and character tier list. So if you want to hear my thoughts on spoilery stuff, look forward to that. That'll be it for this review. Guess I'll give it a number score. 10 out of 10, obviously. 10 out of 10. This is the best game I played in a long time. Might be the best game I've ever played, actually. Especially after Endwalker and Shadowbringers. There's never been a story that in a video game that has got me so attached and emotional. Yeah, I don't know what else to say. I guess I'll say nothing, except thank you for watching. If this game looks even remotely interesting, or if my review has made you a little more interested at all, and you want to give it a try, there's a free trial, of course. I'm sure you've heard the meme, the free trial up to level 60, which includes all of A Realm Reborn and the award-winning expansion Heavensward. With no restrictions on game time, by the way. Did they bring back the free trial yet? Because there was a lot of congestion on the servers when Endwalker came out, and they got rid of the free trial for a while. They didn't even let people buy the game for a while, actually. I think that you can buy the game again. I don't know if the free trial is back up for downloading purposes, but if it is, please give it a try. Give it a shot. It's well worth it, in my opinion. I was on the free trial for a long time, and then, it's free! It's free! You can try out the game if you don't like it. Hey, at least you didn't waste any money. But after that, if you want, you can buy the game. It does have a monthly subscription. You can get a reduced cost on your subscription if you, there's an option. It's usually $15 a month, but you can do $13 a month if you, but you're restricted to 8 characters total and 1 per world, which is not a big deal. You're not even gonna need more than 1 character anyway, so. And hey, you got 7 other slots in case you want to make an alt on a different world, just to play a different race or something. So that's what I have anyway. But yeah, try it out if you want. It changed my life in a lot of ways. And I know that sounds so stupid, that sounds so cliche, but it kind of really did. This game was an unforgettable experience. If something goes down at Square Enix and this game gets wiped from the planet and no one can play it anymore, I'll still forever cherish my time spent in this game. Yeah. This game, you go to bed, you think about this game. You think about playing this game. You just want to play it. Any moment spent not playing this game is a moment wasted when you get into it. I never talked much about the cons. Oh man, here we go. The review doesn't end. Cons? I can't really think of many. Yeah, I'm trying to come up with even one. This may be a con for some people, especially if you come from World of Warcraft. Add-ons in this game, third-party add-ons to this game, little third-party extensions, are not allowed. I mean, they don't check for it, but they're technically not allowed. You can still download them. As long as you don't tell anyone, you'll probably be fine. But I don't have any third-party tools. I don't really need any or want any. Most of them are just make character boobs huge, make character naked. There's those, of course. But then there's also something like ACT, which is like a damage meter if you come from World of Warcraft. Damage meter is one of the most basic of basic things you download for an add-on. But Yoshi P, the director, saw that it could be used for harassment, so he doesn't allow it. You can still download it and use it, but if you use it for harassment, you bet your bottom dollar that you're getting that ban going. But yeah, that could be a con to some people. For me, it's not much of a con. It's not a pro or a con. I just don't really care either way. I guess the biggest con is A Realm Reborn and how slow it is, to be honest. I also have some issues with the beginning of Stormblood, but that's spoiler talk for later. Other than that, there's not much cons. I mean, I could talk about the problem with housing in the game and how impossible it is to get a player house, but I don't really want a player house in the first place, so that's not really a con to me, but that's definitely a con to some people. If you don't know, you don't want to know. You don't want to know. The housing is a little bit of a nightmare. But yeah, I can't think of very many cons. I don't know. I don't know. Inventory management can be a little sussy, but figured out a method that worked for me. I just put everything I don't use away into my retainers. Yeah, I don't know. Cons? Cons. Can't think of any cons. Yeah, I can't think of any cons, really. It's a perfect game. No, there are some problems. They're just so the problems that this game does have are like insignificant enough to not really warrant any attention. I guess. I don't know. Well, here's one con that I do have. Is that PvP kind of sucks. But hopefully they're making it better. PvP is not fun. It's impossible to kill healers. Like literally impossible to 1v1 a healer. You can't do it. It's not possible. But yeah, PvP is just a little fucked right now. And also when I try to do my frontline roulette, well, sometimes it says more than 30 minutes. I guess not today. I'm not doing this though. I don't want to PvP. I don't like it. I used to PvP a lot in World of Warcraft. It was a lot more fun. I mean, that's what I used to do back when I played the original World of Warcraft and Burning Crusade. Even when I was a kid, make no mistake, but I still loved it anyway. But yeah, not so much in this game. It's not like awful. It's not terrible. It's just not very fun. But that's really the only con that I can think of. If you don't even care about PvP, then that won't be an issue at all. If story is what you like in a game and good characters, I don't think you can find a better game on the planet. Maybe Steins Gate. But that's not a game, that's a visual novel. Visual novels aren't really games. But yeah. That's it. I need to end this review. I can't continue to ramble on. I will do a /goodbye, and I will see you all soon with a tier list video for this game and a lot of other stuff. I have a lot of other stuff planned, so stay tuned. That's my review. Sorry if it's long. I'm probably gonna cut a lot of stuff out, but if this video is an hour long, I sincerely apologize. And I don't blame you if you didn't watch it or you skipped through it. I will put chapters down below. I mean, this is the end of the video, so why am I even saying that? Oh dear. I'll probably like have a black screen with just text that says use the chapters below to skip to parts you want if you want, or something like that at the beginning. Anyway. Anyway, that's it. Stay tuned for more videos in the future. I have a lot of stuff planned. A lot of it is Final Fantasy related, make no mistake, but I have some other stuff planned too, don't worry. That's it for now. Thank you for watching, as always. Thank you for watching. Goodbye. Like how it just goes into a stoic face right after the wave is over. Goodbye!